The Gospel of Gold by G.S. Lewis. Gold expected Koga to show some sort of reaction, either to the accusation that he was lying or being found out. But the ninja only gave a non-committal laugh. I may have embellished my story a bit, but all will come about as I said, he croaked. And what you call misdirection, I call stalling for time. Now, don't look so surprised, he said, seeing Will's body tense. You are doing the same. For what reason, I am unsure, but we have ourselves a mutual stalemate at the moment. Then, while it lasts, I shall turn it to a mutual advantage, if I can. Would you not like to be on the winning side of history? Gold saw Will's throat bob as he swallowed, with a dry click. His Xatu, which had never left his side, flicked its narrow eyes at him uncertainly. Tell me all, Will said, in a thin voice. Certainly, Koga said smoothly. And I hope you will do the same in your turn. Now, about Lance, the Dragon Master who keeps losing his dragons. There was a wicked mirth in Koga's voice that he could not wholly conceal. Tonight, he will be seen by all of Johto, setting houses and landmarks ablaze in his fury. The Pretender avenging himself upon the people who refuse to accept him as their champion. The cities will not be able to withstand him, for their protectors, their gym leaders, are away from home. Moreover, the firemen and police will have their hands full, the firemen with the structures, and the cops with Team Rocket. This time, Gold did not have to guess at Koga's smile, as it was outlined through his mask. He shuddered. Yes, the oft-belittled Team Rocket will strike as their signal beacons are lit. But worry not, tonight will not be as much of a scorched earth policy as it seems. It's merely about sending a message to show the populace the truth of things. Until now, they have regarded this sudden challenge to the League's authority as little more than a trifling curiosity. Tonight, they shall see that the fate of the League affects them all, and safety may only be assured when order is established, unopposed. Koga reached out an arm, as if offering it to Will. You may yet rule at the head of that order, for you are a valuable asset. All that you have left to do is take that boy. Here he pointed at Gold. And follow me to the throne room, where he shall be delivered. Gold felt the blood drain from his face. Delivered, Will repeated, in a tone that asked for clarification. And who will be waiting on the throne to receive him? Probably no one if we go now, said Koga, sounding more earnest than before. It depends on who returns first. Karen or Lance? Gold felt a spike of anger ripple through the room, and he realized with surprise that it was not his own, but Will's. How long will you insist on calling him Lance when we both know perfectly well that Petrel is doing the dirty work? He demanded. But Koga's tranquility remained unbroken. Lance will be there, he said coolly. I might have brought him myself, if you'd given me just a little more time. Yet, in my reckoning, he is only the consolation prize, next to the boy. Again, his gaze turned to Gold, and there was a fierce, hungry expression in them. For the last time, said Will, sounding both angry and fearful. What really happened to Lance? Now, Koga cried gleefully. When there is time to tell the story, the telling must not be rushed. I am almost there. Tomorrow, when the chaos is quelled in each city and Team Rocket slips back into the shadows, a conference shall be called. Lance shall announce that there is some good news and bad news. Regrettably, he caught his doppelganger, only after much damage was already done. Having fallen for the Blackthorn ruse, he was angry about this drastic turn of events. No matter what happened afterward, his name was already disgraced beyond salvaging, and he would be forced to step down as champion. So, in a moment of wrath, he directed his Pokemon's fire at the man who had already burned much of Johto. Koga bowed his head in mock sorrow. And he killed him. The room was silent for the length of a skipped heartbeat. Then, as Gold felt his chest expand with shock and fury, Marina and Junichi erupted by his side. Liar! Your words are poison! Choke on them and die! Marina screamed, starting toward Koga, and prevented only by Crocodile grabbing her around the waist. As if any of you could kill Lance, Junichi added with scorn. It took two of you and an entire rocket base to even subdue him. Until I see a body, I won't listen to it. But Will's face had gone from pale to green. Gold looked at him with concern. What is it? He asked hesitantly. Will gave a slight shudder, and his voice was cracked. Koga let me see a fraction of his mind. He left Karen in Blackthorn because his mission was successful. He struck preemptively, as only a ninja assassin can do. Will's face twisted. And he's letting me know that he could do the same to me if I do not now choose rightly. Petrel didn't kill Lance. Koga did. The force of this new revelation came so hard on the heels of Koga's previous suggestion that Gold felt his legs turn to rubber beneath him. He tasted bile, and the room seemed to waver. So, this was the truth of things. Koga might still be lying, but Will believed him. And now, the creeping despair had never seemed so suffocating. In the middle of everything, Meganium returned unlooked for, practically morphing out of the surrounding jungle. The grass Pokemon held something that temporarily distracted Koga's attention. A dangling, semi-spherical sack of lumpy webbing. He eyed it with some surprise. Then his eyes narrowed in understanding. "Ah!" crowed the Poison Master. "Then this is what you were stalling for! Very impressive that your Pokemon managed to discover the location of Lance's dragons, after all the effort I put into hiding them." Those are Lance's Pokeballs in there? Thought Gold, eyeing the large spider silk bag that hung from Meganium's mouth. I see. Koga was afraid to open them and unleash their power. Koga's temporary mirth quickly faded, and he held his arms out straight, suddenly businesslike. "If you were, I dare say, hoping to return those to their owner, you know it is now a futile matter. For that reason, I shall allow bygones to be bygones. But," he glared at Will, "I'll be taking those back." All at once, a Crobat burst from the thickness of the jungle, diving straight for Meganium. Before Junichi could think to issue a counter-order, the four-winged bat had plowed into his Pokemon, spinning like a shuriken, cutting with its bladed webbing. As Meganium crumpled in pain, Will shouted a command, and Exeggutor dashed out of the thicket, its eyes glowing. A blue psychic aura surrounded Crobat, deepening to purple as its pressure mounted, and causing the bat to drop to the earth in agony. Koga made a lunge for the bag of Pokeballs, and quick though he was, Junichi was closer. A glint of steel appeared in Koga's hand, a kunai knife, and Will gave a cry. Xatu, teleport! In the blink of an eye, the totem bird was upon Jinichi and Meganium. And then they were gone, just as Koga's knife swiped through the flash of their afterimage. The ninja turned, incensed, to Will, and drew his arm back to throw. One false move, and this goes through somebody's eye. You know I'm faster than you. No more teleporting! Will, who had slapped down both hands on Golden Marina's shoulders, slackened his grip. Koga's next words were steely. Call them back. I can't, said Will, breathing hard. My range of telepathy doesn't go that far. How far? Koga asked, but then spoke again, answering his own question. Blackthorn, of course, even though you knew there was no hope that way. His voice rang heavy with disappointment. I was wrong about you, Will. I thought you were smarter than this. What a waste of perfectly good talent. You tried to cut Jinichi, argued Gold, against his better judgment. He was going for the Pokeballs, snapped Koga. He was trying to shield his Pokemon from further harm, Marina insisted, in spite of her frightened expression. Silence! Koga roared with a sweep of his hand. I need not justify myself to children. Petty children, all of you. He spat with disgust, surveying his captives. You lack the insight to see that you're currently surrounded by my hidden servants, and further defiance invites death. How, then, can you possibly hope to grasp the bigger picture? I know your thoughts, even now. You think that, because the Elite Four is down to 2, we lack the power to carry on. Well, warfare, like Pokemon, is not merely about brute force. You shall see soon enough. A series of soft, rapid thuds issued from the left, where Executor gave a choked cry. Gold watched the tree-like Pokemon fall with horror, its back riddled with dozens of pins. Will yelped at the unexpected attack and seemed to flinch, as though he could feel the pain through a psychic connection. Koga merely nodded with cold satisfaction. May that demonstration prove sufficient. Now march, he barked. I will leave the other boy to my operatives in Blackthorn, but you will walk ahead of me. Koga indicated toward the chamber's north door with his kunai knife. To the throne room, now!